All right, so welcome to Sour Horsepower, and today, as you can probably see around me, we're visiting Ian, his dad's garage. So he has a bunch of classic and vintage Fords here. He's going to uncover some of them for us. We just got done talking about his truck here, but we're going to walk around, take a look at all the cars. He's going to give us a little history behind them. So yeah, let's get to it.
Just went through this winter. I retired in January, and so this was my project. First, it started off. It was to change the torque converter because it had a loose 10-inch in it. That came out of that race car at one time, and it was just too loose for a street car.
Yeah.
And it was a pain in the rear to drive. So we ended up pulling the motor out, and then we changed the cam. We put a stock 428 Curvajet cam in it that Dad had, because I didn't like the cam that was in it, and it's just a factory cam.
Yeah.
And who's that, Amazon or something? So yeah, we put that in the motor, and then I put another intake on it. I put an Eldorado intake. It had an Offenhauser. Put an Eldorado on it, and just gave it the Krylon tune-up.
Yeah.
You know, and then I ended up putting other brakes on the truck. They're 68 brakes,
yeah,
which are a bigger drum. The 66s had real narrow drums. The 68s have 3-inch drums.
The factory ones are not much bigger, and
yeah,
it's on the 65.
So we put them on, and then I put actually put the whole front end from a 68, the I-beams and all in it, and then put all new brakes in it, and put 91 Explorer front springs in it.
Okay.
Yeah, that lowers it. Like
oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So did that, and then I got lowering shackles in the back to lower the back end a touch.
Yeah.
To do much more, you got to do an axle flip.
Okay.
These, and you got to change the front spring mount, which means you got to grind the rivets out and do all that. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Either
And
drill it or welding.
And the fronts, you'd have to put drop I-beams in it to get it any lower, because it just throws off the caster and the camber. And nobody does front end alignments on these old I-beams anymore.
Yeah, sure.
You got to heat them and bend them.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So anyway, I did all that. So I like this truck just the way it is.
Oh yeah, for
I have
sure.
no intention to paint it.
It's a nice look.
Yeah, it's patina. I want to get the doors lettered yet. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna put on. Yeah, I was gonna put Hampstead Motors, because that was the Ford dealer in Hampstead before it moved up to Park Ford. It's where Dean's was, the restaurant Dean's.
Okay, yeah,
next to Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
There. They caught on fire where the Dollar General's going now. Was the car dealership called Hampstead Motors. So that, and then I can uncover.
Yeah, sure.
4. It's an original 390 P code 4-speed, which is the 390 330 horse solid lifter motor.
Police car.
Yeah, it was P meant for police, but civilians could buy the drivetrain option. It was basically a lot like a 427 car from the factory. It had the same big 3-inch brakes as a 427 would, and it's real similar to like what that would have been. But this car, I've had, like I said earlier, I've had this car since 1985. When I bought it, the interior was the way it is.
That's a really nice interior, by the way. The white and the red.
It's not stock. It was done. We think the interior was probably done in the late 70s, but it's held up well, and we have painted the car since then. And this may be the next one to get a motor done for it. Just want to build a little bit more of a motor for it. But it's a 394 speed. I've driven it to Columbus, Ohio twice. Yeah, actually 3 times. It drives. It's a great cruiser. It's been in a magazine. It was featured in a magazine back in the 80s.
Oh wow.
And
was that Ford's 100th anniversary?
Yeah, it was Ford's 100th anniversary. It's been around the Ford Proving Ground test track.
Oh wow.
In Dearborn. That's what that sticker.
Yeah, sure. Take a look.
this sticker here is from that day when I went around the test track. Up to that point, Ford had never allowed non-Ford Motor Company cars, you know, the public to go around the track, and you could pay extra as part of the 100th anniversary celebration out there to do it. And it went to charity. So we did it, and it was fun. It was cool. So
really awesome.
See the car went around there, and then
we start over here since we're here.
We can go over there. This is this car here is my latest buy, one of two, but this one actually, I guess technically by one day, this is the last car I bought. It's a 1990 Mustang, Ford Mustang, Fox body, coupe, and it's a 5.0, 5-speed.
Very clean.
And originally a Canadian car.
Oh wow.
Originally came from Canada. The speedometer is in kilometers.
Okay.
It's a 220 kilometer speedometer in the
Okay.
car. It has a factory block heater.
Oh wow.
That was an option on the car. I don't know what any production numbers yet, but they only made 463 in this color coupes.
Yeah.
So I do know that part. I've sent away for the Marty report, which is a breakdown of the options.
Yeah.
So waiting on that. But it's original paint.
That's insane.
And it has the optional vinyl interior, which I've never in my life seen on a car.
Wow.
But it's original vinyl. It was actually, I think, a $53 option.
That's that's original vinyl too.
That's original interior.
They just like store this in a barn or
I
in a
don't know.
garage and just let it sit, like because it looks unused.
Yeah, the car. Really? It's a one-owner car. I am technically the second owner.
Yeah.
If you don't count the dealer that was in between us.
Yeah.
I'm the second title owner. The thing that clinched it to buy the car was it came with every piece of documentation you can think of. The original owner, kept a spiral notebook of every piece of maintenance he ever did to the car, and he wrote it down, date, and just from day one.
That's crazy.
And that came with the car. Every receipt came with the car for anything he ever did to it. And it was always serviced at a Ford dealer in Ontario. And also his original sales brochure came with it. And the car was ordered. So in the sales brochure, the gentleman that ordered it had made all these notes in the brochure saying, are four-wheel disc brakes available? You know, is this available? Is that available? And he also went around and circled all the different options that he was going to order the car with.
That's insane.
So, and that all came with the car. So it's a 1990. It's 31 years old.
Has every piece of paperwork ever associated with it.
It's pretty cool. So
time capsule.
So yep. So it's a survivor. I guess that's kind of an overused term, but I think it is. And the paint's awesome on the car.
Yeah, it really is.
It's incredible. And being from Canada.
I know. I was expecting like rust. How many miles are on the car?
It's 90,000. 100.
No.
Yep, 90,000 miles are on the car. It's originally the odometer is in kilometers.
So it's 130.
100. Let me see.
90,000 miles. And it looks like this.
145,000 kilometers, which, if you do the math, is 90,000 miles.
And the seats are, the interior's brand new.
Yep.
Looks like it. The paint is basically flawless.
Yep. The only modification that I can find to the car is they put a strut brace on it sometime along the line, and
that's not even a permanent mod. So
no, and it has a cat back on it. Which
wow, that's insane.
Yeah. So it's pretty mint. So this and it drives like a new car. It doesn't squeak.
It looks like a new car.
Fox bodies are notorious for squeaks and rattles. And this thing is like a new car. It doesn't squeak or rattle. It doesn't make a sound. It's awesome. It shifts. It's tight. It's just the guy whoever had it really took great care of it.
That's an understatement, I believe.
Yep. So that's the latest one. We just bought that. It actually came from a dealer in Texas. And delivered here. I had it delivered in an enclosed trailer. And
wow.
So that's the latest. And then this is my 2018 Mustang GT, Performance Pack 1 car, Brembo brake car, has 2,000 miles on it. never been in the rain. It's
Yeah.
It obviously doesn't go very far. It hasn't been very far, but it's
Ruby red paint, right?
ruby red.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a great color.
Yep. And 10-speed. It's a 10-speed
Oh,
automatic.
okay. All right. Yeah.
Yep. And it's a pretty awesome car. So it I really like it. I had an 11 GT,
Mm-hmm.
and which was race red, and I ended up selling it to my father, Ian's grandfather, and he still has it, and that has 5,400 miles on it,
Wow.
and it's never been driven in the rain
Yeah.
or snow or anything. So we just it's nice if you have the option to keep them like that.
Yep.
And but this is completely. I did do a back seat delete in it. I took
Okay.
the back seat out and put the panel in there, and but other than that, it's pretty much stock.
Yep. Before we move on, can we talk about the wall?
Yeah, yeah. The wall is my magazine collection. I've never thrown a magazine away, ever.
I can.
Ever.
Yeah.
And
Wow, I'm gonna walk over here.
all those magazines that you see, I've probably purchased them when they came out.
I will say I'm glad to see Mopar muscle.
Oh, I have them. I have
Oh.
there's Mopar.
Are they separated by shelf too?
With,
So this is the Mopar shelf.
yes. Well, yes, they're in stacks by title, but they're not in chronological order.
Okay.
I'm not that.
Yeah.
Anal. I'd die before I could get that all done.
Yeah.
But, we do have them by
Type.
title.
Okay,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Hot rod here.
Yep. So we got everything from. I'm obviously a Ford guy, but I do have quite a bit of Super Chevys here. There's some Pontiac stuff here.
Wow.
Hot rod, antique stuff, all the way up to major modified stuff, and
Volkswagen.
Volkswagen. I got Volkswagen stuff. Got the old Turbo magazine, that was back when the import scene was first starting.
Oh wow.
I have some of those, and I just love magazines. I love paper.
Yeah.
I collected almost in the same vein as like somebody would collect the baseball cards.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it definitely looks like it.
Yep. And
This is crazy.
but I like memorabilia. I like
Nice old Coke dispenser here.
That's from the 50s. That's a nickel machine, and it doesn't operate currently, but it did when I first got it. The compressor has gone up in it.
Yeah.
And then I collect toys. Most of these toys are either mine or Ian's from when he was a kid. A lot of them, it's a mix of both.
Yeah.
Most of the tractors are mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The newer tractors.
Yeah. The
The older
ones.
stuff is all mine.
The green ones.
I recently been collecting the Motorcraft semis. I have all the variations of those now. So that's kind of cool. They were only available from Ford dealers.
Yeah.
You buy them at the parts counter at a Ford dealer.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
And then I've been collecting license plates, different magazines and different dealerships and whatnot.
Yeah.
I just hung those up actually a couple weeks ago. Went through and started hanging stuff. I just had them stacked. So we did that, and then I got my National Dragsters. I do have the Muscle Mustang and Fast Fords. They are in order by year, and they're over there. I did do those by year. And then this is just more stuff, more of those trucks. But yeah,
Wow. This is insane.
it's
It's fantastic.
yeah. I'm a bit of a hoarder, but
Library.
But yeah, that's a good term for
Well,
it. It's a library.
I call it my archives.
Yeah, for sure.
Because if I think of something or I want to look something up, I can come out here. I pull an issue off the shelf, and I can usually find what I'm looking for.
Yeah, for sure. Wow.
It's a lot of fun. And some magazines, I have some others that aren't out here
Yeah.
that are quite valuable.
The Eastern Dragon.
Yeah, I have a complete set of Easter Dragons,
Oh, no,
1962 through 65, and they were weekly.
Mopar head up there.
Yep.
Every time I see Mopar, I'm gonna call it out.
Yep. That's Ian's soapbox derby car there. That was Ian's first race car. Right
There you go.
up behind that, and then that.
The
red
blue
Mustang.
bullet.
Yeah.
Yep, the blue bullet.
Don't ask about the win record.
Yeah.
Or lack thereof.
And then
Wow.
most of these, actually all these toys over here were all mine.
Yeah.
Growing up.
Knievel.
Yeah, there's some people. There's that box at the top. It says Ford Midget.
Mm-hmm.
That is an original box for a Ford Mustang pedal car,
Like,
from 1965. That one right here. So that was the box that would have came in at the Ford dealer,
Let's see if I can.
and they were only available from Ford at the Ford dealer also.
Oh wow.
But luckily, my grandmother had kept that box and put her Christmas decorations in it for years. And I was up in her attic one time, and I saw the box, and I was like, I gotta have this box, Grandma. It's got, it's
Yeah.
So I got her another box for her Christmas tree,
And you
swapped it.
reacquired that.
Yep, and got that, and I've only ever seen one other one, and that was in a very large Ford memorabilia collection. But just most of the time, the boxes were thrown away.
Wow.
And but yeah,
This
so
is
got
yeah.
got the
Speechless.
I got the coolers, the Coke coolers, Royal Crown, got Pepsi over here. It took my wife and I, because most of this was in our house basement until this building was built, the magazines and the memorabilia. And what we did is we took the lawn tractor and had the lawn cart hooked to the back of it, and we would just load the cart up, and we'd make a trip over here, and then we'd unload it and go back. And we did that for, I don't know, 2 or 3 weekends. It just took us to haul everything out here.
Oh, I believe it.
And
It's crazy because, like, I grew up around here, and like I saw when you guys built this, I had no idea
yeah, I try to.
that this was in here. This
There's
is
a lot in here.
this is awesome.
I try to keep it. I don't want everybody in the whole wide world driving by to know what's in here.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
It's my collection.
This is-
I like it.
It's basically a museum.
Yeah. We're supposed to next fall. The AACA is having a poker run in the area, and this is going to be one of the rest stops. They're one of the check-in points.
Okay.
So they're
Yeah,
gonna
for sure.
come in here to tour it, and then this I don't know if your
Yeah.
viewers interested.
Let's do it.
This is a 1981 Cub Cadet 982 garden tractor, original paint. This was sold new in Westminster at Farmer Supply, which doesn't exist anymore. It's the biggest Cub Cadet tractor that was available. It was called a Super Cub, and they're 23 horse, I think, 22 horse Onan engine. And so it's kind of collectible to the people that collect garden tractors.
Mm-hmm.
And we take it down to the tractor show, and we've pulled it a couple times in garden tractor pulls. And it doesn't do great with the turf tires, but it does okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's just something else. I like tractors.
Anything with a motor.
Yep, anything with a motor. That's what we like. But and then this is a 3-wheeler. This is a Honda ATC 200M, which it's original tires. So it shows you how much it's been ridden. This was actually my mother's, Ian's grandmother's at one time.
Yeah.
Yeah, back in the 80s. We had property in the mountains of Pennsylvania, and she would ride this. And then I had a 200X along with my father. He had one also, and that's what we rode. She rode it about twice. she only rode it.
It looks brand new.
Yep, it's dirty now.
Yeah,
It's sitting
but-
in here,
but yeah.
dusty. But so yeah,
Cool.
And but yeah, we got all kinds of stuff. Railroad lanterns.